So let's take a look at this problem together. A stone is released from rest from the edge of a building on a roof 190 meters above the ground. A second identical stone is thrown straight out with an initial velocity of 20 meters per second. Neglecting air resistance, which hits the ground first? Also kind of an interesting problem. So I'm going to draw a little picture. I'm going to have my building. And I'm going to release a ball that's going to drop straight down. And I'm going to have another ball that's going to be thrown out with some horizontal velocity. It's going to be initial velocity only in the x direction. So if I wanted to solve this problem, I'd go into my normal way of solving it. I look at my kinematic equations, and I would look at how long does it take. And I remember that there's a pretty, not standard, but a very common way that these problems work out is that the y direction determines how much time you're in the air. Gravity is going to pull this thing down to the ground, and it's going to tell me how long it takes to hit the ground. So y is equal to y naught plus v naught yt plus 1/2 ayt squared. So in the y direction, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to set my base to be 0 height. So that means my ground is my final position. So I have 0 is equal to my y naught, my initial position in the vertical direction, plus 0. I have no initial velocity in the vertical direction, but I do have minus g in the vertical direction for the acceleration. So 1/2 minus gt squared. And I'm assuming that up is positive y. Well, I could go ahead and solve for this. I know y naught, that's 190 meters. I know g, about 10 meters per second squared, so I can solve for time. However, at this point, I'm going to actually just stop and save myself an extra line or two of work and move over to the other one, because I don't care how long it takes. I just want to see which one takes longer. And hopefully this equation compared to the other one will give me the same, or will give me enough information. So I'm going to look at the other ball now, the one that's thrown horizontally. Well, it ends at the same position. It starts at the same position. It has the same 1/2 minus gt squared on it because it's falling in gravity. And it's going to have a horizontal velocity when it starts. Its initial velocity is just horizontal, which means in this case, this value for v naught in the y direction, the vertical velocity, is 0. So you can see that these two equations, this one right here and this one right there, are the same equation. Same y naught, same 1/2 times minus gt squared, which means they're going to hit at the same time. So in this problem, because this ball has no vertical velocity, no initial vertical velocity, and everything else is the same, the two will hit at the same time.